I talk about the three types of men: beta males, alpha male 1.0s, and alpha male 2.0s. And in terms of your level of confidence and outcome independence and your lifestyle, that does accurately describe the three types of men. But there's actually, if you look at how men look at the world and how men live their lives, there's actually 6 kinds of men. Which category do you fall into? Some of these guys are good, and some of these guys are very bad. Matter of fact, most of them are bad. I will describe. I am Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I do 5 videos a week here on how to make both your business life and your woman life more free, because you need both. We are also doing an online course giveaway right now. This is my online course on how you can design your own location-independent income. It normally retails for about $1,400, but you might be able to get it for free. All you need to do is subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment, and I will announce the winner at the YouTube community feed here at this YouTube channel. Now, I have used this metaphor before, but I've never gone into detail about it. So I want you to visualize that you live in a small village, and this village is at the bottom of a very narrow valley. And on both sides of the valley are very sharp, sheer rocks that are unclimbable. And on the other side of the valley is this wonderful, amazing, crazy, awesome village. It's a different village, but everything there is awesome. It's really, really good. You live in the village that's kind of shitty, but the village on the other side of the valley is really good. The problem is there's all kinds of obstacles between your village and the village on the other side of the valley. There are crevasses, there are pits with spikes, there are thorns, there are thickets, there's all kinds of, there's animals, wild animals, wolves, rabid wolves, there's all kinds of problems from here to there. Matter of fact, when you look at this other village, it almost looks impassable. It almost looks like it's impossible. Almost, but not quite. Now, the second problem is that based on some pictures and some images you've received from that other village, it's not quite as cool as it used to be. It used to be really, really cool about 50, 60, 70 years ago, but today it's still cool, it's still awesome, but it's not quite as good. And so you're like, okay, so it's good, it's better, but it's not quite as good. Now, men break down into 6 categories in this village where you live. The first category are the defeatists. And these are the men who say it is literally impossible to go over there. It's not possible. If you even try, you're fucking stupid. We're just fucked. We're just screwed. And that's the way it goes. And there's nothing you can do about it. And these guys just sit around and wallow in their negativity because they think there's no option. They're wrong, but that's what they think. The next category of guys are the lazy people, otherwise known as millennials or Gen Z. And these guys say, yeah, I mean, you could do it, but oh man, look at all that work. Man, I don't want to walk that far. Man, I might get a scratch on my arm. That's not, I mean, I don't want to do that. Hey man, life isn't about working hard. You know, I want to live my life, man. I want to just live in the now and chill. And so these guys just relax and they smoke weed and they play Xbox and they don't really do much because why work? I don't want to bother with that. And so they sit down right next to their buddies, the defeatists, and just kind of waste away their life and just kind of put up with the crap that they have to deal with because they'll never go across the valley to where it's much better. The third category are the opposite of the defeatists, and these are the delusional people. These are people who say that the obstacles between our village and the awesome village, they don't exist. They're just in your mind, man. You need to think positive. You know, it's not a big deal. And so what these guys do is they slap on their backpacks and they go out in the wilderness and they walk into the boulders. They just smack right into the boulders and get bloody noses because they think the boulders aren't there. They walk into pits and die. They get thwacked by thickets and get torn, their faces torn. Wolves come out of the caves and bite their hands off. And so most of them die. A lot of them come back wounded and bloody and gory. And by the way, when they do that, the defeatists and the lazy people say, see, I told you it's impossible. I told you it doesn't work. See, why would you possibly, look how stupid those people are for even trying. They're dumbasses, which is true. They are dumbasses because they're delusional. They don't see any of the obstacles. They don't acknowledge the obstacles. They just say, well, I'm a really good person and I'm a smart person and I have a college degree, so these problems don't apply to me. Those are the delusional people. The next category of men are the ragers, otherwise known as Christians or right-wingers or Trump supporters. So what these guys do is that they know that you can get to the other side of the valley. They know you can. They know it's hard, and they acknowledge that there's obstacles in the way, unlike the delusional people. But they're fucking furious that the place on the other side of the valley isn't as cool as it used to be 70 years ago. And god damn it, that's bullshit. It should be as awesome as it was 70 years ago, and it's not fucking fair that it's not amazing anymore, and this is fucking bullshit. And they go on the internet and they make 3-hour-long videos about how fucking bullshit it is, that it's not as cool as it used to be, and isn't this fucking terrible, 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 and they go on and on and on about how fucking terrible it is, and how bullshit it is, and how unfair it is, and it sucks. And because they're so busy bitching about how horrible everything is and how less good things were from 50, 60, 70 years ago, they don't actually get off their asses to go across the valley to the promised land. The next group, the fifth group, are the fearful people. These are the guys who admit, just like the ragers, that you could get across, but they're scared. Well, I might get hurt. Oh, I might get a scratch on my arm. Oh, I don't want a scratch on my arm. Oh, my wife wouldn't like that. Oh, my girlfriend might break up with me. Oh my God. Oh, my mom might not approve of me if I go across to the better village. God, I don't know. I really want to go. Man, it sure is great. And they fantasize about going. They look at pictures. They talk about it, how great it would be, but they never get off their asses and go into the obstacles because they're too scared. They're betas. They're pussies. So they just hang around with the defeatists and the lazy people and the ragers. And they idolize some of the delusional people. When the delusional people put on their backpacks and go into the forest, the fearful people are like, oh, I wish I was like him. Oh man, that'd be so great, but I can't do it. The final group of men, the sixth group, are the successful people. The successful people do literally everything that the other 5 groups don't do. So number 1, they acknowledge that it is possible to get from this village to the other village, and that the other village is way better. They acknowledge that it's possible. They also are not delusional. They acknowledge and they know there's going to be obstacles in the way. There's going to be problems along the way. It's going to be tricky sometimes. It's going to take some level of work and some level of effort. They don't necessarily like work or like effort, but they are willing to go through that effort to get to the awesome village, even though they acknowledge, like with the ragers, that the village on the other side of the valley is not quite as good as it used to be, but it's still way, way better than what they currently have now. So that's not relevant. Yes, it's not as good, but who cares? It's still 3 times, 4 times, 5 times better. So what they do is they sit down, they map out a plan on how to deal with the obstacles, they get on their backpacks, and unlike the delusional people who just keep walking into boulders, get eaten by wolves, and falling into pits, they are very careful. They navigate the thickets, they navigate the wolves, they navigate the boulders, they navigate the cliffs, they navigate the pits. They have all the correct equipment ready to go. And over time, eventually they get to the other village, and it's fucking amazing, and they love it, even though it's not technically as good as it used to be. They are happy, and they've accomplished what they want. All while the other 5 categories of guys are still back in the old village bitching and moaning and being unhappy. If you need more information on how to become one of these men, you can join my mentorship and audio training program at joinsmic.com. In the meantime, you can click here on why it's not a good idea to kiss a woman on a first date, or you can click here for 11 cool countries to move to if you want to move out of the country at some point. See you soon.